everybody, welcome back. We wanted to stop by today on the 35th anniversary of Epcot and share with you some of our favorite things about Epcot.
Let's start with the rides. My favorite ride in all of Epcot, I think, is Spaceship Earth. First of all, the lines tend to go pretty fast, so you don't always need a fast pass for this one. So if nothing else, you can probably get on to Spaceship Earth. The queue, a lot of it's in the shade, so that's nice when it's really hot out. Also, the ride itself is inside. It's a pretty long ride, and so you get to stay in the air conditioning a little bit longer. It's also a nice slow ride. It's not a thrill ride, so if you do have little ones, they'll enjoy it. If you're just ready to kind of take a break and relax, that's a nice ride. I also just like it because it kind of takes you through the history of the world, really, of Spaceship Earth from the beginning of time, and so you do get to kind of just have a little bit of education there and learn a little bit. So you can just kind of see one of the original Epcot rides. It's been there since the beginning of Epcot, so that's kind of my favorite ride. I'm not a huge thrill seeker, so for me personally, that's a good one.
That's definitely a classic.
Yes.
I like that one too.
Yes.
I think for me, my favorite ride has to be Soarin', and especially since they've recently updated it and added some new video. It's just really cool. I love that you're literally flying in the air and your feet are dangling and you feel the wind and kind of a multi-sensory experience. I just love that one.
Yeah, that's always fun too. You do have to watch your height restrictions on Soarin'. Sometimes it's not going to work for the little ones, but yeah, it's a very cool ride. It's you get the smells and very much like the IMAX kind of surround visual experience, so that's definitely a good
similar
one.
to Spaceship Earth. I mean, it's kind of that trip around the world. It's a little educational. I think Epcot's a pretty educational park in general.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. All right, so next up, of course, you can't go to Epcot without thinking about all of your options for food.
So let's talk table service restaurants. Do you have a favorite table service?
I definitely do. My favorite table service restaurant would have to be the Rose and Crown in the UK Pavilion. The best part about it is if you are there and you get a dinner reservation and you are able to be lucky enough to request and be seated outside on the patio, you have the best front row seats for the Illuminations fireworks show in the evening. And so what we did was we got there at probably like a 7 o'clock dinner reservation, ate kind of slow and easy, and then we were on the patio, we were ready to go. We had great seats for Illuminations. We did not have to fight the crowds. You can see everything from there, and so it was a really nice feature and bonus of you get to eat dinner and have a show at the same time.
And that's awesome too, because you can be sitting there with someone bringing you drinks or food or dessert while you're watching Illuminations rather than fighting the crowds and having, people step on your toes and things.
You have plenty of space. The other thing that's nice about the Rose and Crown is the menu. If you're like me and you're not always an adventurous eater, chances are you're going to find something there that's similar to something that you've probably eaten at home before. And so, meat and potatoes, fish, you're going to be able to probably find something that you're going to enjoy. Also, if you don't have adventurous kids, for eating, sushi and different things from the other pavilions, you're probably going to find something that you're going to like at the Rose and Crown.
I will add that there are some things on that menu that I think are kind of adventurous. So I think it's a good mixture. If you want to try something out, but you're not quite sure about it, that's a good place to sort of dip your toe in the adventurous eating waters. I remember I had one of the greatest salads of my whole life there. It was really yummy.
And they have a nice bar, a nice pub on the inside.
Some entertainment.
Yeah. Something for
That's
everybody.
a good one.
Yeah. What about you?
My favorite is, there's so many good choices at Epcot, so it's hard to choose. But the last time I was there, I had the opportunity to eat at Monsieur Paul, which is sort of the fancy French restaurant in the France Pavilion. It's the one that's actually upstairs. So there's the Chefs of France downstairs, and then upstairs is a signature restaurant, Monsieur Paul. And the ambiance was just really lovely. The service was outstanding. Then of course the food was delicious. They've got some really amazing, dessert options and just, your typical fancy French meal. So if you're looking for a special night out, maybe you've got an anniversary yourself or something like that, Monsieur Paul is a really good option. It also tends to be a bit quieter, not quite as many little kids around. So if you're looking for something, you know, maybe a night out for the parents without the kids, or for the grandparents if they're coming along, that's a really good option.
Cool. I think besides table service, there's also kind of the quick service options. And for me at Epcot, it's really hard again to decide. There's tons of options, and I think I'm gonna just say eating around the world. Being able to pick those small little bites up as you go around the pavilion, you know, get your, you know, entree here, get another little side item at the next country, go around, get some dessert or a drink, and kind of work your way around and just be able to try a little bit of everything. I think that's a great way to do it. You can kind of eat and walk and make your way around everything a little bit faster than sitting down and taking the time to do that if you're kind of in a hurry. And if you like to try a lot of different options, it's just a unique way to get some different options and still feel like you've eaten and had enough to eat.
Well, it used to be that Epcot only had the extra kiosks available during the Food and Wine Festival. And now, of course, they definitely still have those, but there are so many festivals that go on during the various seasons at Epcot that those offerings are constantly changing. So even if you were there in the fall for Food and Wine last year, if you go again in the spring, there are still going to be some amazing options that are brand new that you've never tried before. So that's a good one. You kind of stole my idea. But I have another one, don't worry. So my pick for the best quick service restaurant at Epcot is the little French patisserie that's very tucked away at the very back of the France Pavilion. They have some amazing, just, you know, sandwiches and dessert options galore. Pastries, yeah. No trip to Epcot is complete for me without going in and buying their little assortment of macarons. And I sometimes will bring them back under the guise of them being gifts for other people, and
eat them yourself.
They don't always make it to the other people. In terms of other like must-dos, for me, some of the entertainment at Epcot is just really fantastic. So for me personally, I cannot go a day in Epcot without going to the American Adventure Pavilion and sitting on the very edge of the red circle right underneath the dome and listening to the Voices of Liberty. That is just the most perfect day in Epcot for me, is getting to hear them sing and perform and secretly wishing, maybe not so secretly wishing, that I was a part of that as well. So if you've never had a chance to see them before, they perform basically about every 45 minutes. They do a 15-minute show in the American Adventure Pavilion, and it's just really outstanding. They do some different things at Christmas time, and it's just patriotic Americana a cappella music, and it's gorgeous, and it's perfect every single time.
She would live there, I think, if she could. She just would plant herself there and leave a little indent for herself in the future.
And it's, you know, it's halfway around the World Showcase, so after you've walked and walked and walked and walked and done all of your being outside in the heat, it's a nice, cool, air-conditioned place to go and listen to some really awesome entertainment.
Definitely. I think my favorite entertainment is probably the Illuminations fireworks and lights show that they have at the end of the night. Probably because, again, we got to watch it at those great seats at the Rose and Crown. But it is just nice. It's really kind of an all-encompassing experience. It's a really large area around the lagoon, and so they incorporate the water and the lights and the fireworks. They feature each pavilion as they go through the night, and it's just, the music is really cool, and it's just a nice way to kind of cap off your evening, and then before you have to head out.
I love the build-up to Illuminations too, because they light these big torches and the drums start playing, and it's just this incredible build-up just in the music itself. All right, so let's talk about shopping. Where are your favorite places to shop at Walt Disney World? For me personally, there is one particular store that I love. So just underneath Spaceship Earth, just past that, to the left, right across from Starbucks, is my favorite Disney store. It's called Mouse Gear. And this is a huge Disney store. Sometimes you walk around all the little shops and you see something here or there that you want to pick up, but you really wish that you could sort of do all of your shopping at once. Mouse Gear is a perfect place to do that because they have it all. They've got snacks, and they've got shirts, and they've got toys for the little kids, and they just have everything. So for me, if I know that I need to pick up something quintessential Disney, or maybe I'm in the market for a new park touring bag or something like that, Mouse Gear is definitely where I'm going to stop to do that.
And if you pick up a ton of things there, because they do have so much, you can always have it shipped back to your room.
Yes.
So that's another great feature just in general of
If
shopping.
you're staying on property, of course.
Yeah. So for me, I really have always had a soft place in my heart for Figment. And he is the little dragon. You can probably see him up there. So you can find a ton of Figment stuff at the Imageworks gift shop at the end of the Journey into Imagination ride with Figment. And so you can find your t-shirts and your hats and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I just think Figment is kind of a little more of an obscure character. Not everybody knows about Figment. He's kind of specific to Epcot.
Yeah.
And so I've always just kind of liked that, to have something a little bit different. And, you know, the idea of his whole thing about imagination and being creative, and that always spoke to me. So I like that there's a special gift shop that features a lot of his stuff right there at the end of that ride.
Although Disney pro tip, if you happen to find yourself at Disney in 2017, at Epcot in 2017, Figment happens to be the mascot for the International Food and Wine Fest. So you can find even more Figment merchandise this year.
I'm glad that he's getting a little bit more featured opportunity. For
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right, last but not least, we have to tell you our favorite overall Epcot World Showcase pavilions. So you start.
Well, for me, I've always been drawn, for some reason, just by the aesthetics and the look of the architecture and just the uniqueness of the Morocco Pavilion. Also, it's really convenient because when if you're tired, you don't want to walk all the way around, you can get on the little friendship ferries and go across the lagoon, and it drops you off right in front of the Morocco Pavilion. So you don't have to walk all the way around. You can have a little boat ride. So it drops you off right there. They have great shopping. They have great food. It's just an interesting pavilion, and I think it's a really unique opportunity to pick up a few extra gifts that are a little bit different, and you know, authentic Moroccan leather bags, and just all of those different kinds of things. I've just always thought it was pretty. And when you go in the back where they have the fountains and kind of the tile work, it's just a kind of a little more quiet space too, to kind of enjoy and relax at Epcot.
You can get your henna tattoos there.
That's true.
They also, at Restaurant Marrakesh, which is a table service dining option there in Morocco, they have belly dancing and live music playing during dinner. So if you have little ones that aren't shy, they can get up and learn to do some belly dancing, which is always cute.
It's not something you see every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? Your favorite
My
pavilion?
favorite pavilion overall has to be the UK pavilion. I love all the little shops that you can go in that just feel like you're in just a tiny little town in England. I also love that you can go to several different places and grab a glass of cider. I'm not really a beer drinker, so ciders are my favorite, and the UK pavilion is definitely the place to get those. And I also love to take that glass of cider right around to the British Revolution performance area and just hang out. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially at nighttime, you know, just before Illuminations is about to start. Hang out, take a load off, have a glass of cider, listen to some awesome British pop music, and it's sort of the cap to an awesome Epcot day.
Isn't the UK pavilion kind of the Mary Poppins area?
Sure, yeah.
If you're gonna see if you want to see that character meet and greet, that's
Or Alice in
an option.
Wonderland, she's there for you too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and of course the Rose and Crown is there, so
Right.
it brings it all back
It
full
does.
circle.
So there you have it. Those are some of our favorites at Epcot. We are so glad that it has been around for 35 years.
Happy anniversary.
And we are excited to go and wish it happy anniversary in person in just a few days.
Yep.
So how about you? What are some of your favorites of Epcot? Tell us down below in the comments. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe.
Definitely subscribe. If you have any questions about Epcot, we're going to be there very shortly. And if you don't already know the answer, we can figure it out for you. So leave your comments, your questions, any feedback, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all the things you need to do with the YouTube. So, all right, we will see you guys soon.
Bye.